Good evening and welcome to the Variable Y Minute. I'm just noticing I got a little fuzz over here in my beard. I need to get that out there. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. Thank you so much for being patient with me, guys. It has been a couple of days. We are without sports, so we're trying to make some things happen as many things happen as we can. So in the process of all this, I kind of thought about how we're going to keep this show alive. Again, no sports, what are we going to do? And I realized that, I kind of have carte blanche to do this show however I want. And even though there aren't any sports that are being played, I don't know where all this fuzz is coming from. Even though there are no sports that are being played, I am an avid video game player, and I am an avid sports video game player. So to me, sports are being played year round. So what I am going to do is I'm going to play my sports video games and bring that to the masses, to you all, as your way of having sports in your life. And you can thank me later. So that is what we will do. So the show, as we are into the times that we're in right now, the show is pretty much going to be off the beaten path from here on out until we get some real things to talk about, to discuss, to banter back and forth about. We're just going to do some fun stuff on here, at least things that I find fun. We're going to talk sports video games. Like I said, we're probably going to do some sports movies. I'll probably have like a sports movie countdown, even though it'll probably be 3 movies because I think most of them are crap. And we are going to just do a bunch of things, like I said, that are fun stuff. Now, as we have some news that comes up, we are going to go with that. But for the most part, right now, we are flying by the seat of our pants. And guys, I think this can actually be very entertaining. This could be probably the best run of shows that we're going to do. So we're going to run with that because we don't have nothing else to do. So we're going to go with that. And I'm going to love every bit of this. And I hope you are too. So interestingly, there are a few topics that I heard about today that I kind of wanted to run by you guys and see what you guys thought about them. So let's just get these started. And again, like I said, this is going to be an interesting night for the show because tonight we're not going off the beaten path. Tonight we're actually going to talk about some topics that are out there that I heard and I thought they were very interesting. And I wanted to see what you guys thought about that. So let's start it off with the NFL saying that they're not, as of right now, they're not going to move the draft. The draft is slated for the weekend of April the 23rd through the 25th, so 23rd, 24th, 25th. And as of right now, there are no plans to move it. They are planning to have the draft. They're planning to have it like it normally goes. Obviously, they won't have everybody in attendance. It was supposed to be in Vegas, and I was going to try and get a guy's trip to Vegas, but that's out right now. And they were going to have, obviously, the players go out there and do the handshakes and the high fives and all that jazz, but they can't do that. People need to try and stay safe. So they're probably just going to do it in a room, and it's a TV show, so they got to have TV cameras there. And I don't think that the draft is that dramatic anymore anyway, because there's just so much information. I think with all the information, with everybody doing mock drafts and all this stuff that they have out there, it's taken away a lot of the quote unquote drama, a lot of the quote unquote subtext, a lot of the things that were in the draft at one point. It's taken all of that away. And so it makes the draft extraordinarily boring. So I don't watch it, but they are going to proceed with the draft right now, even with all of the health issues that are going on right now. And there are some GMs who are just blown by this, thrown off by this. Oh my gosh, we can't do this. We need all this time to do all this evaluation and we need to do this and oh my God, we need to do, and it's like, oh, shut the hell up. Like, give me a break. So I heard somebody else say it, and I couldn't agree more. Like, if you have not been scouting these young men, if you do not know how to go to YouTube, if you do not know how to call the school up and figure out who you want to draft, you've got at least 3 years of film on them. If you can't do your job as an NFL GM who makes a boatload of money, if you can't do your job, even if you can't go and see these guys, then that's a you problem, dog. Don't get me wrong. I get it if it's like a Tua Tagovailoa or some of these other guys where you say, hey, I need to get the medical information. I understand that. But if you're sitting up here trying to evaluate if they fit in your process, if they fit in your program, if they can play the second corner for the the slot receiver, or if they can be your backup tight end because you got a blocking tight end, you want a receiving tight end, or whatever. If you can't figure that out, then you need to put your resume in. You need to go down there with everybody else at the unemployment line because you don't need this damn job because this ain't that damn hard. I'm sorry. Y'all be complicating the hell out of these jobs and they're not that hard. See the guy, plays well, draft him. Done. Shouldn't even take that long. We shouldn't even make a whole TV show out of this except everybody, the advertisers want more and more and more. So we got to make a TV show out of this. But we don't have to make it this long. We don't have to make it all of this. Just see the guy, draft the guy. We're done. Goodbye. Period. So I think you guys know how I feel about that. If you can't do your job as a GM, even without these guys going to your facility or you going to their pro days, then please resign from your job and give me a call, and I can do that from the comfort of my own home, and you can pay me half their salary, and I'd be just fine with that. Maybe 2/3 of their salary. It just depends on which GM you're talking about. So that was one topic that I wanted to talk about, and of course, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you think I'm tripping. Let me know if you think I am spot on, because I think I'm spot on, but whatever. Now, another thing that I heard, and I found it really, really interesting, is that Major League Baseball is thinking about starting their season. Well, obviously, they're thinking about postponing their season, but they're thinking about if they're going to do their season, they're going to try and get at least 100 games in. They're thinking about doing some games where they do double headers, where they play 7-inning double headers. So they'll play 7 in the daytime, or 7 in the evening, or 7 in the afternoon, 7 in the evening, whatever. And they're thinking about how they can try and get as many games in as possible, because obviously everybody's pushing everything back. And this I find interesting because I'm not necessarily a purist on most things, because I'm happy to change things. I'm happy with change. I think change can be good in a lot of ways. I don't really know how I feel about this, because I don't think that this will make it so next year, hopefully, when everything is either cleared or we got vaccinations for things and we're back to kind of a normal life, or life as we know it. And I do that in quotations because I don't really know what a normal life and we know it will be, but we're back to something. We're back to what we kind of remember as life. I'm with some of the purists who say I don't want to see this as what they're going to do with baseball going forward. But I get that we're in a very delicate situation right now. And if whatever we can do to try and get these games played and try and get a regular season going so that we can know what a postseason would be like, I think I'm all for that. I think whatever we do, if we can try and get some games played, I think that's just what's best. And if we can try and get it to where it doesn't go over to the next season, or where it's interfering with the next season, I think that's what's best. So if we can try to do that, or I'm cool with just shortening some of the games as well. And I understand that, in baseball is such a long season that you can start off pretty bad and then turn it around. Look at the way the Nationals did it last year. They started off and they were horrendous at the beginning of the season, and then they turned it all the way around. And I'm okay with that every year that we have the ability to play 162, but we don't have that ability this year. So if we got to cut it down to 100, we got to cut it down to 81. If we got to cut it down to 70, I'm all right with that. Let's just do our best to get as many games in as we can, and then do a postseason out of that. So, on that one, guys, let me know what you think about that as well. And then the last topic that I found interesting that everybody was talking about is the way this this New England quote unquote breakup is happening, the way everybody's talking about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and who's going to be more successful and why did they break up, and I find it very, very fascinating that everybody's wondering why did they break up? Like, well, why did Belichick let him go? Like, I mean, you got the greatest quarterback of all time. This is what some people are saying. I'm not saying that. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Not even close. He's won the most Super Bowls, but I don't think he's the greatest. You got the greatest quarterback of all time. How are you going to let him leave the building? Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And I maybe it's because I have a bias because I really don't like Tom Brady, but I kind of see this like the breakup between Kobe and Shaq. You got an older player, you got a younger player. You got a player who doesn't really work that hard. You got a player who works super hard. You got a player who's goofy and who loves to have fun. You got a player who is serious and focused on basketball and winning in championships. If the two bump heads, if you got to make a decision, you got to go with the younger, the hungrier, that guy. Now, this is different, of course, because you can't really make those comparisons between these two guys. But you got an old quarterback who has to go out there and play football. You got an old head coach who just has to coach football. You got a quarterback whose arm can look good and can look bad, and he's got to rely more on his brain than his physical tools. Then you got a guy who's been relying on his brain the whole time, so that doesn't change. I mean, you got to go with the coach, right? Because just because Tom Brady goes to Tampa doesn't mean that Tampa's going to win anything. We don't know what the hell Tampa's doing. Tampa's got to come through the A, Sheldon. So let's not even act like that's just going to be a cakewalk for them. I know everybody thinks, oh my gosh, they got all these weapons. Tom Brady's going to be great. Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. But we still got Takk McKinley, who still puts a hit on a quarterback. So you go ahead, Tom Brady. You try that mess down here. We'll see what happens when we see you 2 times a year. And I know everybody on the team want to bust that you know what. So we'll see what happens. But hey, again, I'm all about hearing what you guys have to say. I'm all about hearing what you guys think about what's going on. So left you with a lot of content tonight, guys. And I would love for you guys to leave some of your feedback. You're here on the Variable Y Minute on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That would be great. If you want to catch me over on Instagram, you can catch me at Variable Y. If you want to catch me on Twitter, I promise I am going to drop some content there very soon. Starting this next week, I'm going to drop some content on Twitter. You can follow me at variable_Y. Guys, take care of yourselves. Hug your loved ones. Work real hard, doggone it. And I will see you very, very soon. Matter of fact, I'll be here on Monday unless something changes and I'm here this weekend. But guys, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Stay your behinds in the house. And I'll see you Monday.